Hi folks! In this video, we'll examine a challenge that most marketplaces face in their early days, the chicken and egg problem. The chicken and egg problem is a well-known metaphor for situations where the cause and effect are unclear. In the context of marketplaces, it describes a common challenge related to building your initial user base. In this video, I'll cover what the chicken and egg problem is, the short answer to solving the problem, and the longer version of that answer with some 20 examples from successful online marketplaces. Online marketplaces connect two sides, sellers and buyers. For both sides, the value of the marketplace is the other side being present. The sellers are there because they get access to potential customers. The customers are there because they'll find what they need to buy or rent in the quality and price point that matches their needs. This is the chicken and egg problem in marketplaces. To get users, your marketplace needs to offer value. To offer value, your marketplace needs users. The chicken and egg problem is a key reason why building a marketplace is much harder than launching a traditional e-commerce store where you would only need to bring in the demand. Luckily, there are many battle-tested strategies to solve the problem. Let's go through the short version first. In short, the chicken and egg problem can be solved in 3 steps. Step 1, identify which side of your audience has a bigger incentive to join. Usually, that's the supply. Step 2, give the supply a good reason to be there before the demand. And step 3, launch to the demand when your initial supply is in place. For the long version of this answer, let's look at real-life examples from successful marketplaces. Whenever we talk to a marketplace founder here at ShareTribe, we ask them how they went about solving the chicken and egg problem. We found that most stories fall into one of 9 strategies. Start small, do things that don't scale, steal supply from a competitor, subsidize supply, fake supply, offer value through SaaS, engage with a community, tell a great story, and find a market where the chicken is also the egg. Next, some inspiring examples for each of these strategies. I'll share links to all these stories in the video description so you can explore more. First, start small. Grubhub started in a single neighborhood in Chicago. Kickstarter deliberately focused on the arts community first. Curtsy, a dress rental marketplace, reached $25 million in GMV by first focusing on a single sorority. The examples are endless. Starting small helps with solving the chicken and egg problem because it makes the problem smaller too. You can focus on a small group of passionate sellers who are excited about your marketplace, and you can bring them in with the promise of customers and actually deliver on that promise. Second, do things that don't scale. A great example here is Florence, a marketplace for healthcare staffing. The founder, Charles Armitage, sat down and called care homes in London to find shifts to list on the marketplace. And then he did the same to find nurses. He reached out to people on Facebook and through his networks. DriveLaw founders found the first users for their peer-to-peer car-sharing marketplace by putting flyers on car windows wherever they went. For GreenPal, a marketplace for lawn care, it was hangers on doors. The great thing with many of these tactics is that they force you to engage with your potential users. The relationships that you build and the insights that you gain along the way will return the investment several times over. Third, steal supply from a competitor. Well, not steal really, more like win them over by communicating your superior value proposition. Curtsy, for example, competes in the extremely crowded niche of second-hand and rental clothing. They identified a clear gap. Existing players like Poshmark favor active sellers with a big following. Curtsy offers a better solution for casual sellers with just a few items to list. Hired is a hiring platform for technical talent. It only lets in the top 10% of applicants, and then companies make interview requests to them. Compared to more generic job platforms, this improves the experience for both sides. When you have such a clearly improved value proposition, you have a great angle for contacting sellers on existing platforms and pitching your marketplace to them. Number 4 is something that takes deep pockets and that we see much more rarely: subsidize supply. Uber somewhat infamously did this by offering cash rewards to drivers. Another thing you could do is offer a stake in your marketplace, like the stock photo marketplace Stocksy did in the early days. Number 5, fake supply. Grubhub initially built a list of delivery restaurants and showcased the list to customers. And then when they had customers showing interest, They reached out to the restaurants, showed them the demand, and asked them to sign up. Thumbtack did pretty much the same thing. They would take any customer they got, and then they started emailing local suppliers. Queenly, a marketplace for formal dresses, used automated and manual approaches to both fake and steal supply. The founders wrote a script to scrape listings from Poshmark and Facebook Marketplace, but then they would also comment on the listings, compliment the dress, and ask the seller to also list it on Queenly. Number 6 is offer value through SaaS. This is often called the single-player mode of marketplaces. For example, Fritos is a marketplace for freight, but they first advertised to the freight forwarders, which is their supply side, as a platform to automate their pricing. Crexi is a marketplace for real estate, but its productivity tools can be used by all real estate agents, whether they're interested in Crexi's marketplace element or not. Encore, a marketplace for booking musicians, first pitched as a LinkedIn for musicians and brought in supply with the value of social networking. 7. Engage with a community. Founders with a strong community behind them have a cheat code to solving the chicken and egg problem. ShareType customer Greedy in Pink launched as a marketplace in 2019 and saw 16 months of continuous month-over-month growth. But the Greedy in Pink community has been actively fighting for more representation in the music industry since 2003. Shortboxed, a marketplace for comic books, evolved from a blog into a community and then into a platform. 8. Tell a great story. I already mentioned examples of marketplaces that communicated their value proposition really well. Another great marketing tactic is to highlight exclusivity. Communicate that you're building a new, quality-focused marketplace that only lets in the highest quality sellers. Some platforms have taken this a degree further and made access invite-only for both sides to boost hype. This tactic worked quite well for the social media platform Clubhouse, at least in the beginning. Early partnerships with influencers or tastemakers in your niche could also work. That way, if you don't have a community of your own, a partner can give you access to one. For example, Curtsi's co-founder started marketing the dress rental marketplace in sorority meetings on her campus. Later, Curtsy scaled this approach with a campus ambassador program. Finally, number 9, find a market where the chicken is also the egg. You don't really have a chicken and egg problem if your buyers and sellers are the same people. For example, ShareType customer The Octopus Club has grown mostly organically in its niche of pre-loved kids items. There's tremendous buyer-to-seller overlap in this market because children constantly outgrow clothing and gear and need new stuff. A spin on this strategy is identifying and boosting dynamics where one side naturally brings you the other. For example, Eventbrite noticed that ticket sellers actively promote their events to their audience through their own channels. They also found out that many ticket buyers eventually become ticket sellers too. The same is true for Kickstarter. A project owner needs to actively promote their funding project outside of the platform and bring in supporters. Many of such supporters eventually had their own creative projects to launch on Kickstarter. That's quite a list. So, to wrap up, in the early days, marketplaces need to solve the chicken and egg problem. That means they need to identify which side of the audience they should build first. Usually, that's the supply. And there are many strategies to offer value to the supply before the demand is in place. In general, starting small with a manual approach makes the chicken and egg problem much easier to solve. I'll link to all the podcast episodes and articles I referred to below so you can continue exploring strategies and examples that feel most useful to you. Thanks for watching.